Hello, this is Joshua from the Rustic Oak Homestead. Today I'm going to do kind of a update video. I actually had done this video, like the takes for it and editing and everything, a couple days ago, but then I realized just how much I said I was going to be doing in that video and how much I've actually done. So I decided, well, do a new one. But this behind me is our chicken coop. Try and get back there where you can see it some. And I apologize for the wind ahead of time. It's been kind of windy today. We have that cold front moving in. Yeah, this is our chicken coop. It's not 100% done. A couple things I want to do. I want to put a windbreak, windbreak here, and over on that side too. But this is based off the blueprint of that was done by, I'm going to put his name or his channel name up on the screen, but also I'm going to attempt to pronounce it DIY different, so it's just pronounced different. But I essentially took his build and mostly copied it with some variations in it. And these are our chickens. We have 3 breeds. We've got Jersey Giants, which are the black ones. We also have Orpingtons. We have 4 Jersey Giants, 7 Orpingtons, which are the yellow ones. And get in here so you can actually tell the difference. And these brownish red ones are the Rhode Island Reds. And this is Mama. She's our superhuman friendly chicken. She can't wait to be on you and follow you and get into trouble. But yeah, these are all egg layers. We were gonna do some dual breed or dual purpose with the jerseys, but first time chicken owners, it's been a learning experience for all of us as much as it is the chickens, it is for us. So we've kind of grown attached to these girls. So probably will not be processing them or culling them to get maximum efficiency. Well, that'll probably be a couple years down the road when they start to really drop off in their egg production. All right, would you attempt to put Mama down? There you go. But of course she jumps right on top of me again. But okay, over here we have some dustpans. They are right now confined to the coop because we don't have a run built. And sorry about that, she just insists on jumping on me. Let me get in here so she'll quit that. But excuse me. We have the dustpans, and so they can, do their dust baths. We also have been throwing some greens and bugs and stuff in there to allow them to do foraging and stuff. This is what they tend to call an automatic feeder that I just completed today. It will fit approximately 15 pounds of feed. We have just the one right now because I want them to adjust to it first, but they've taken right to it. We were using the kind that you get your typical farm store. And over there is their water, which is currently in a bad position. I just put these roosts in today. This one here that these girls are on is temporary. It's actually going to be moving back to that board over there, stud, so that they're about 18 inches between each other and about 18 inches from one to the next, so in height difference. But right now it's kind of in a bad spot where I've seen them already get up here. They've already went poop in their feeder that was right there, which I took down. So I'll be coming out tonight and making sure they have clean water, and again, first thing in the morning. And then I'm actually going to be building or not really building, but taking a 5-gallon bucket, drilling some holes in it, and put the drippers in it so that they can peck at it and get water that way. It'll be easier on us because it holds a whole lot more water. And I can also adapt it into a watering system that I'll be designing in the future using rainwater from the roof. But yeah, these are the roosts. I didn't have 10-foot boards, so I made do with the 8-foots, and it worked out fine. So, well, these are just put in this morning. They had just recently started roosting up on this plywood last 2 nights or so. So I decided it was time for roosting, but we'll see how they adapt to it tonight. So that's about it for the inside. Come back out here. Nope. And that's about the only real features on here. I did some pallet boards here to give it a little bit of character. We also have the red siding. It's a 10 by 10 coop. So assuming you have a yard for them, or run, this could do about 25 chickens. So full time you would want probably only 10 chickens in there. It depends on the breed and everything, but approximately 10 foot per bird. So if you do fully confined, but they're currently just fully confined right now. But we're going to be building the run, which I had started marking out today because I just finished this coop a couple days ago. So, or at least made it to where they can get in there and out of their brooders, which they were getting pretty cramped in. But it's going to be a decent sized run, or I'm going to plan on expanding on it and even maybe doing different paddocks so that way we can rotate the chickens between spaces, because this is starting to green up now that the sun's, spring's coming. So we're going to wait and see just how green it gets. But obviously once the run's up, they're going to tear it to pieces. So that's why you'd want to rotate. But that will be a future project. But the intent is to have a run kind of going all the way, and the coop's going to be almost in the middle. This is also where I'm standing is going to be a double gate, so that we don't have to worry about them possibly getting out, because I know mama bird's going to get out. She can't wait to jump out the gates, or any kind of gate that you open. So, but we're going to have a buffer zone, if you will, about 4 feet between the external perimeter and the interior. The interior is just going to be like some basic deer fence or something like that, chicken wire, whatever. And then the exterior is going to be the actual welded wire fencing. That will be much more secure. The interior is just to keep the chickens out of the buffer zone, because the buffer zone is going to have things like blackberries, or well, any kind of berries that we have, vines, etc., that will grow up over the chicken run, because the run's going to have a top on it. We have tons of hawks and falcons around here, so even some eagles. So I definitely want to have a top on it, because I don't feel like having to deal with that problem. So, but eventually the vines, the berries, whatever, will grow over the top and essentially drop berries down for the birds and for us. So it's an idea that I saw in one of the many books I've read. Sounded like a really good idea, and I liked it. So actually, I think I got that one out of Hobby Farm magazine. I'll put a link for that. But I thought that was a really good idea, and I like the sound of it, because we do want to grow berries and etc. But we obviously have, gonna have deer, and we even have some bears around here that come and get all our. We have tons of raspberries, blackberries in these woods. So, anyways, next thing is the spring. I previously mentioned this before. I think I even showed it, but I have dug it out. I can now fit a 5-gallon bucket in there. And this one, and then back here, the secondary pool, I have some mosquito cakes in there right now because this does not flow hardly quick enough. So things like algae have become a problem as well, because it gets tons of sun. So I do intend to possibly build a spring house over this to protect it from the sun, so that algae does not grow. But let's see. Yeah, so these flags here are inlets. These are the ones that I could find. Some of them come from the ground, some come from more of the surface. As you can see, kind of over here, it stays very wet. It's draining from somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where, but up here for sure is a drainage path. But I dug this out trying to trace possibly a good high flow source. Was not lucky enough for that. It had actually been following the roots of this, what's this part of this tree. You can see an old tree that was down in here, just rotting away, or whatever you want to call it, composting. And then it still gets wet way down here, which is kind of disappointing. It has drained out quite a bit. This is not full of water anymore, so I think I might have gotten lucky enough to stop it up here, if I'm lucky enough, because I would like for this to dry out some. Our plan is to eventually, along this entire ditch, be building, not really, I guess you'd call it a food forest kind of concept. I do want to have tons of, flip this around, tons of different like flowers, pollinator type stuff to help with the garden, and eventually bees when we get those. Would like to do bees, but we're obviously going to need food sources. There's not a whole lot around here. Plenty of trees, but flower-wise, there's not really anything within a mile, because that's about how far you want them, or the maximum distance you want them going. Obviously, the shorter distance, the better. But yeah, it's a plan and process. I do want to do like fruit trees and stuff, but obviously we already have tons of trees, so it makes it really tough to get enough sun for those fruit trees. So it's something I'm still kicking around, but I for sure am going to be doing flowers and stuff around here. So that is a 100% sure thing. As you can see, we have a few up here. We've already gotten some starts. Did not do seeds this year for a number of things, just because the time that we have to actually take care of seeds and do a seed start type stuff. So we don't really have the resources, or should I say the setup, like we did last year. But yeah, so I dug this out with our backhoe. That was a fun day. I was soaking wet, covered in mud. But the only other real thing, I got a raised bed finally built, one of them. This is the one we had at our old house, so very easy since I already had the parts for it, or should I say the lumber. I got some jalapenos and green beans under there. I'm going to start those from seed, but I do plan on buying some, they're metal well, I forgot what you call them, but you go over like your basement windows and protect them from flowing water into it, etc. And I found those at one of the big box stores for fairly cheap, and I can get them really deep and really big. You essentially just take two of them, put them together with a bolt and screw, or bolt and nut, and there you go. You have yourself a big round bed. So I thought that would be a really good idea. A lot cheaper than lumber, potentially cheaper than lumber. I'll have to do the math, but it will last a really long time, just like this treated wood would. But kind of don't want to use treated wood because, as you can see, I have plastic bags all around it, just as a precaution. Even though it's not arsenic anymore, it's copper solution, just being safe. So that's what our main goal is to do over the next couple of weeks, get all this gardening stuff put in, because we would like to can and preserve a lot more than we did last year. We had a huge garden last year. Actually, if I can find some pictures, I'll put them up on the screen. But Megan was pregnant at the time, and between me taking care of the garden and working, and her just not having the energy, didn't really get to do a whole lot of preserving. Let's see. Yeah, and this is the pallet I tore up. And two other things that we got done today was we started our earthworm farm to get some worm castings and liquid gold. Stole that from I don't know where, that idea, but there are tons of different designs you can do for that. This here, though, in front of me is a black soldier fly farm. Have not got any that I'm aware of anyway, so I just got this together a day or two ago. And of course it's going to get cold again, so hopefully after that it stays warm. Hopefully we'll get some that come in here and start laying their eggs. I could buy them online, do that kind of thing, but I want to see if I can get them naturally first, because that's free. So has a ton of nasty food in there. That will give us a good supply of protein for our chickens, all the larvae in there, and our hope is to eventually expand that to a much larger container. So the idea, I got this one here from this design from trying to remember, I'll put it up on the screen though, and also in the description once I figure it out, but I can't recall it from memory. But essentially the idea is they fly in here, and on the underneath that is a piece, whoo, nasty in there, a piece of cardboard, and they will lay their larvae in there because it's over the food, and it will fall down in there into the food. They'll eat, and there's actually like these little pipes here that have some holes cut in them, and they'll climb up through that, up through here, and then in here, and then drop down into like a gallon jug or something like that. The bottom there is a drain for all of the juices and stuff that form in the bottom once this begins to really break down. It kind of doesn't really stink right now, surprisingly, but once they start getting in there and breaking it down really good, you won't smell it at all, for sure. Just like composting. The idea is to use just the worm castings. We may, at one point, once we have enough, a large enough farm, maybe we'll use some of the worms, but for now it's just gonna be the black soldier flies. So, but yeah, that's all that's been going on these last few weeks. Been just real busy with that chicken coop. That was a lift. I unfortunately had to do most of it myself since my Megan, she works night shifts, so when she gets off work it's like 10, 11 o'clock. So didn't really work out very well for that, but I managed to get it done. Really glad. It was a learning experience. I'd never built anything like that, period, ever, anything like that. I've done like drywall and plumbing and electrical work, you know, that kind of stuff, handyman type things, but not construction. I did do a deck, but that's a lot different. So anyways, that's all we have going on right now. I do have our Azure drop coming up this coming week, so I bought a lot more than we did last month. Last month was mostly essential oils, and we got some chicken feed we're going to experiment with that we had not used, obviously. So we're going to see if they like that and how that works out. But let's see. Yeah, and sorry about the wind again. Good breeze. But yeah, hopefully I have a video for this chicken coop I actually did. A lot of takes, and it's going to take a long time to put that together. So hopefully I'll have that eventually, but I'm gonna have one where I kind of ramble a little bit like I do now, and also one that's a little more to the point, a little more detailed. We'll see how it turns out, hopefully decently. Obviously DIY had his own, but mine I tried to be a little bit more in detail as to what I was doing while I was doing it, as well as maybe some variations that maybe he didn't do. But I am gonna wait to put that out until I get the siding finished, because I do want to do those windbreaks and stuff. It actually surprisingly may not need it. So far I haven't noticed any drafts or anything in there really. We'll see how it turns out though, but yeah, hopefully have that out soon ish. But that's it for this kind of update, and we'll have an Azure video, of course, to kind of explain all the things we did, because we got a bunch of plant starts and everything, and the garden's gonna be starting up. Super excited about that. We have a freeze coming in a couple days. Hopefully that's the last one, because it's kind of teasing us, you know, 80 degrees and then down to 30. So really messing with the allergies and stuff like that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.